What's up, everyone? Today I'm out here on my 2024 E-Ride Pro SS. I wanted to take a shot at doing a little wheelie tutorial. We'll see how this goes. No guarantees. Man, we got some traffic out here. So, pretty much the main thing to remember with wheelies on bikes or dirt bikes is just covering the brake. So on this bike, obviously it's over here on my left finger. It's pretty much what you're going to use as a failsafe against looping out. The nice thing about this bike though is that it has braking regen, so when you let off the throttle, it's almost like you're hitting the brake. And so as you get far back in your wheelie, you can just let off the throttle and it'll actually bring down the front of it, which is really nice. So I'll just go ahead and do a couple wheelies here. So you can see there, I didn't even use the brake. I was just letting off with the throttle to stay in the balance point. But right there you saw I got so far back that I grabbed the brake. Basically, this just has to become a reflex. Brake right there again. I think I had a pretty good head start learning to wheelie on this bike because I have a lot of experience wheeling a mountain bike, and so I guess the connection to the falling back feeling and grabbing the brake was already there, although I did have to move it from this hand to this hand, going from the mountain bike to this bike. And it worked out pretty well. A really good way to start out wheeling is to pretty much, you can put one foot down right here, give it a little bit of gas, and just keep going until you can keep it up there for a little while. And you're just using that back brake as you start to fall backwards. And you can even start this, I guess, a little bit easier by putting both feet on the ground. Put it up, yeah, get the bike up and just kind of walk your feet like this using the throttle. And then as you get far back, you grab the brake. I think that was actually how I started on this bike, was walking around both feet on the ground. From there, I went 1 foot down, and you kind of can do, you can kind of do circles. Like that. Once you get the 1 foot down wheelie, you can start with 1 foot, put your foot on, and keep going. The real trick with wheelies, in my opinion, is being able to do a slow wheelie rather than just a power wheelie where you're chasing it. And for that, you just have to get farther back in the balance point as well as use your back brake. So just a power wheelie is just, you're really just not quite getting to the balance point and just chasing it with the bike's power. But a slow wheelie, you'll actually be chopping off of the throttle, using the brake, and you'll be able to go slower and more controlled. So right there, you can see I was coming all the way off the throttle and then using the brake at times. To me, one thing that helps when you're starting wheelies is to give it a little bit of brake and preload the suspension right before you give it some throttle. And that just makes it easier to get up to the balance point quicker so that you have to give it less throttle. And that just makes it more controlled, and it's a lot less likely that you will give it too much gas and just loop it out, especially right when you're starting out before you have the reflex there on the brake. I already, had a good head start on doing wheelies, and I still looped this out once and landed on my back, which was very startling. And I've almost done it a few more times. So that's just a word of warning. Start slow. Be careful with how much gas you give it, and you will start to understand and just feel how much throttle there needs to be. And then once you get the balancing, basically keeping the wheel up in the air, from there you just have to balance left, right, which is a little tricky. You can see I'll start using my legs. You can be, you can kind of control some side-to-side momentum by using your knees, even taking a foot off the peg. You can use the bars to turn the bike, which is actually turning the back wheel a little bit. You can see that. But that's kind of level 2 with wheelies, is learning how to turn, control them sideways. And it's kind of something that you just have to feel out. I would say another big tip is when you're starting out, it's so much easier to learn how to do wheelies on hills. I think what it equates to is just that you don't have to get the wheel up as high to be in the balance point. It's a lot easier to do that going up a hill. So you can see I use my body to counteract whichever way the bike is leaning in order to stay upright. And I'm just feathering the throttle. Of course, always covering the back brake. Because there's always the chance that you give it a little bit too much gas, and you need to be ready with the brake to drop the wheel down. So anyways, that's pretty much my first shot at a little wheelie tutorial. So to summarize, start with both feet on the ground, hanging off the back of the bike like this. Just kind of walking around, little bits of throttle, learning how to use the brake and feeling where the balance point is. From there, put one foot on and get your wheelie circle down. Woo. From there, you go one foot on, start going in a line, bring the other foot on. Staying at that balance point again, not chasing it. With all these, it helps a little bit to preload the suspension, give it a little bit of brake when you bring the front up. Cover that back brake and just keep practicing. This all just comes down to practice. I don't even know how many hours I've got into wheeling bikes in general, but a lot. So let me know if you have any questions. If I can do another video to maybe help clarify any specific topics, let me know. Thanks for watching. Share it with anyone you think might like it, and subscribe. Thank you.